Good morning, good afternoon, good evening,
You got it.
and welcome to day two of our, what is this thing called? Virtual Anniversary Spectacular. Although it's not very virtual because we got people here actually. Yes, we have a crowd of one. No, just kidding. Maybe we'll turn the camera at some
Yeah.
point and show them and they can wave. But I'm going to start off with some music. This is day two. And I say good morning, good afternoon, good evening because apparently there's someone from the UK. And
hmm
yesterday I made the mistake saying that we covered the continent. Well, that would have been just here.
Yeah.
Really covering the
The
globe,
world. Yeah.
covering the world. So we have a great concert slash class for you today. So I'm going to open it up. And we have none other than myself and, of course, Mr. Sean Maloney. And I'd say give me applause, but I don't know where it's at on here. So everybody applaud. Ah, okay. That was a bunch of people for real. All right, we'll start off with our first number here, and then I'll tell you what I did, what song I played. And for those of you who have different models, we're going to give you some other ideas of what to use. So here we go. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I had to find the applause, boy,
There you
very
go.
quickly. All right, stop. How do you stop them?
They don't. They never stop.
They just never stop. They
You're
just
that
keep
good.
going,
Yeah.
boy. Well, those are some pretty. We got to find out what exercise they're doing. They just never stop. So, the first number I played was what, folks?
Bye
Or
bye,
the only
Blue.
number, or should I say the only number I
Yeah.
played?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It was a
Bye
trick
bye, Blue.
question. Bye Bye Blues, yes. Does anybody know what style I used? Anybody recognize it? Because it's been around for a while. Any guesses? Oh, wait.
Razzmatazz.
Nope. But I see someone moving their lips and it says they're saying jumpin' jazz.
Jumping jazz.
That was a very good guess. Yes. And the style I used was jumpin' jazz, which is on many of the models. Okay. And I used the simple setup. Now I'm going to try to make this as simple as possible. So on the A series models, and anything that you're not sure of, I'm going to encourage you make a note of it and contact your personal assistant. Okay. So on the A series models, if you push jumpin' jazz and normal rhythm preset 0, that's what I started off with when I was playing the song. If you have the E series and you're using jumpin' jazz, let me specify E series. So models like from the Inspire, Rialto, Marquis, Grand Marquis, and Aria, jumpin' jazz, but use vintage. because vintage represents the rhythm presets of the A series. All right. Now, then I went into partway through. I don't know if you noticed this, but I reached up and I pushed a button on the organ. Would you like to know what button I pushed?
Oh, yes, please.
They're not in yes. You have to wait till the end of the class and I'll tell you. This is how I get you to stick around. I'm just kidding. I got some dirty looks here. So I'm going to tell you. All I did was push a simple button. It's one of my favorite buttons. Whenever I'm playing a song and I don't know what to do and I want it to do something different, I just reach up and push alter style. And I know a lot of you are familiar with it. So when I had that style on, all I did was went from this to this. And what's really cool about that style, if you put on alter style and you just play a simple chord progression like a C to F, the background has like these little piano fills. It almost sounds intentional. Back to C. It's a very common blues progression. G, F, back to C. And that's all I did in that part. And then I held my fill-in down while I wanted to find something else to use. And I went to category setup. Write this down. Category setup or preset. Nostalgic. Do you know why I did nostalgic? You may ask why, folks. Online, anyone want to know? Just ask why.
Why?
I'm glad you asked. Very good question. Because when I do nostalgic 0 on the bottom keyboard, it gives me the Louis trumpet shake sound. So that's how I got that. I had some fun with that. Okay, now, I know some of you, not all of you have an instrument of this magnitude, and you're probably saying, well, Robert, I don't have that one. What can I use on my instrument? So I'm going to play a couple short tidbits on the other two models. What we did is we put something on the small size, medium, and on the high end. So this one here, can you see that okay? This here is our SD Freedom 3. So first thing I would do, I have to tell you, the tempo I used was 202. Ooh, sounds fast. But you know what's great about 202 with a jumpin' jazz, big band style? With Bye Bye Blues, the melody's not very fast, if you think about it. There's a lot of whole notes, so it's great for that song. So over here, I would just simply press the standards button, the very first thing that comes up. It's called swing time. And the tempo needs to be adjusted because swing time usually comes up at about 110, 114. Okay? So then what I would do is speed it up to how fast? 202. Oh, whoop, I went a little too fast. You can go a little faster. Actually, when Jerome plays this, he goes a little faster than that. And he starts scatting along. Ba 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 ba. Yeah. So you can do. So that works nicely. Now, Sean, what do you think I might use over here?
Oh, gosh, we have more choices.
We do have more choices. I'm putting you on the spot, too, just to see how well you know this. So I have, if I go to the same standard button, it pulls up a style called Franken-the-Count, which many people are familiar with, which is will work. So I'll put that up to 202. On the same category, if you go into group 2, there's a style called Smooth Foxtrot, which works nicely. Or if you just simply do the Franken-the-Count, let me put it at 202. I keep pushing it so it resets it. And there we go, 200. So here we go. Had to get in the camera view. So That is my opening number for you and part of our class today. Make sure you're taking very good notes.
Yeah, and guess what? I'm here too.
Sean
So
drove
maybe I'll do
all
some
the way
stuff.
down from Mesa.
Yeah.
He thought he was just going to control the computer. Then I
Yeah.
said in 2 minutes, hey, can you put out a few songs and help me teach your class? And he, of course, said,
I'll be awkward, but I'll do it.
yes.
So
Sean Maloney.
So I've got some notes here. Basically, what we want to do today here is kind of show you all that it doesn't matter
Ooh.
what level you are.
He left me his wallet,
Oh,
too.
hey, yeah,
Ooh.
don't go through it. You know,
Okay.
it's all my money right there. But what we wanted to show you today is you can do any song you want, and we're going to show it to you in 3 different levels. So some people like instruments like this. I know a lot of you have something like this. That's a Freedom 3. And why do you buy these? Well, because you don't have a lot of choices. It makes it easier. So what happens is it convinces you, I can do this. I've always wanted to play music, and now I can. That's why these smaller ones exist, and that's level 1. And then a lot of people, not everybody, but a lot of people get to level 2, and they say, but I just want more choices. I wanna play those same songs, but I want them to sound better. I want to have more freedom and put in some more creativity. So then we'll show you how to do that. And then as he began with, something like this with a touch screen. I know a lot of you have these as well. That's the best of all worlds because you have the most choices, the most freedom, and you can even make it your own and let your own creativity flow. So that's what's going to be fun. So I'm just going to pick any old song just like he did. Let's do another swing type song first. And I'm going to pick something simple because I just want to show you how easy it is to set up first, and then we'll customize as we go along. So something like, I know I've played this before, but something like Hello, Dolly. That's a song I like a lot. He played some trumpet sounds that got me excited and inspired. I want to play some trumpet as well. So if I want to play it on something like this, where I want it to be simple, simple. That's the point of these instruments, is to keep things simple. So I'm just going to touch a button called Standards. You know, and most of you have something like that on your instrument. That would make it easy. All I touch is Standards, and then I've got a choice. I can say, what do I want my band to do? Do I want them to go fast or slow? I'm going to speed them up a little bit. It says 117. I'm going to play Hello, Dolly at 160. So I'm going to go nice and quick. And as you know, most of you, especially if you have an instrument like that, if you have something, what it does is it sets up your right hand automatically. Yes. So you don't have to do a darn thing. You get to sit down and play. So let me just show you what that would sound like. All I did was I touched Standards and changed my tempo to 160. And here's Hello, Dolly. Boy, I tell you, it's so nice to have a cameraman here just to get the best shots. Even if I move around, it follows. I can go anywhere I want, and he has to stick with it. That's fun. So that's keeping it simple, keeping it easy. And that's what a lot of people are involved with us for, is they just want this to be easy and just be able to sit down and play. Not like a digital keyboard. You got to press all these buttons and codes and things. We want it to be easy. So what happens next is you might say, well, that was fun, that's easy, but I didn't really feel like I was playing Hello, Dolly. I felt like it sounded good. I hit the notes, I hit the chords, but Hello, Dolly, that's Louis Armstrong, right? And he played trumpet. Yeah, some people here said it. You guys had to unmute. That takes too long. So he plays the trumpet. So if I want trumpet, I can come over here and I can get something a little more specific. So I get to be a little more free. So on the fanfare here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a new feature, one of my favorites, called Song Setup. What's great about that is I still get to be lazy, but I get to sound better and I get more choices. So what this did is, instead of giving me that same rhythm just regular standards that works for anything. It gives me a little bit more specific. It gave me Dixieland. So I'm going to play this with a Dixieland style now. And I'm going to add one more feature that they use on here. It's right on the panel. There's a new feature called Transpose. And this is good to know if you know any trumpet players or if you have friends. Of course, I don't. But if you know anybody who plays trumpet and you want to play together, a trumpet is tuned to the key of B flat. So if you want to make their life easy and make them happy, you'll say, hey, let's play Hello Dolly. I'll put it in B flat. So I'm going to transpose down to B flat, like a trumpet. And now all I have to do is the same thing I just did, is play my song. So here we go with the Dixieland Band. So that's making it a little bit more fun for me. I get excited because I love that trumpet sound. And not only does it use trumpet, it actually says specifically on the screen now, Louis trumpet. So I get my favorite trumpet player, Louis Armstrong. So you get more freedom and you get that more satisfaction when you can get to play with your favorite artists. Boy, is that exciting. And now I'm just going to show you level 3. And that would be something like this with a touch screen where, oh my goodness, you get all the choices in the world. I can start with the same setups. I can put on my Dixieland band. And what did I do? I went to the tempo of 160. And then I also transposed to B flat. Well, now, on this instrument here, oh, he's got locks on. I wonder what was locked. We'll find out what happens. But now, if I use this instrument, I get more choices. So I get things like, he mentioned categories of sounds. He used a nostalgic type sound. So if I go into that category, that same thing, I can even look on my screen now, and I see a whole bunch of names, not just Louis Armstrong. I can play with Harry James, Benny Goodman. I can play with Tommy Dorsey, Jimmy Dorsey. And some of my favorites, Guy Lombardo. So it's a nice smooth sound. So I'm going to do that same thing I just did. But what I'm going to do is change presets throughout, and it's going to kind of give me ideas, and then I get to let my creativity flow. So here we go. Here's one more time. Let's hit drum variation. Let's try Guy Lombardo. So I get to play with all my favorite artists now and get more choices, more customization. So that's that song in 3 levels, keeping it simple, having a little more freedom to goof around and sound the way you want. And then the ultimate right here where I can, on the fly, make all the changes I want. Like he did drum variation and alter style. So you get those choices as well. Let's try a different song, shall we?
You know, I think I'm going to do that same thing now.
The same exact song? Let's do it
No,
again.
not the
Why
same
not?
song,
Oh.
the same idea. I'll start here this time, though.
Yeah. We'll
'Cause
start with
earlier
level
I started
1.
here,
Yeah.
and then I went around.
And then you can pick your favorite version. You can have level
Okay.
1, 2, or 3.
But I
or
want
whatever.
the same cameraman
Okay.
zooming in and out. There you go.
Let me get to the camera.
Yeah, go over there. you'll see I had to kind of go behind the TV there. They don't
Oh,
see
but
it.
then there are people in the waiting room. I
Yeah,
gotta.
there are
Oh
people in
man.
the waiting room.
then I
They'll
gotta go
take
back
care of
and
it over.
forth.
No, they got it over there in the office. It's not an easy stretch, you'll notice. So I think I'll have a little fun. I love Latin music. Yes. So when the Freedom 3 came out, there was a style that came out that I really fell in love with. And let me find it here. It was simply called Groovy Latin. Ooh, yeah, it's got a little groove to it. Yeah, and it is actually cleverly disguised. Let's see if you've found. This is just a normal C chord. Does that sound familiar to anybody? Does anybody that sound familiar? Well, we'll get to that, but that style is also called something else on a different organ, isn't there? Something
A
similar.
go-go.
A go-go.
Yeah.
Right. So on here, but what I'm going to do this time, it's called a go-go. Make a note. But this time, I'm going to play it with a minor chord and play a couple songs that I like, and then I'll kind of show you how you can use other styles and what have you. Here we go. All-time songs. Yeah, wasn't that fun? So if you have the style of go-go, or what did I call it on there? Groovy Latin?
Groovy, yeah.
Play it in a minor chord, then you can play that style of music. Now there's, over here, they have a bunch of Latin styles, and of course these really nice style setups. So when I put on the Latin here, I'm gonna put on actually Latin guitarist. Latin guitarists, on a lot of the Lowry instruments, they came up with guitarist and pianist styles of music. And all that means is that these styles of music will start off initially as a piano background or a guitar background, and then as you use the setups, they'll bring in the full band as well. Now make a note, if you have the guitarist or pianist categories, style setup or rhythm preset 0, 1, and 2, 99% of the time we'll set it up with just a piano background or guitar background, depending on the style you're using. Okay? The drums and the full band won't come in. So let's just listen to it real quickly. So you notice in this case,
Ooh, that's nice.
it's just a guitar. And there's a little bit of a bass in there, but it's not as fully orchestrated. Now if I go setup 1, you can hear a subtle change. Now, you notice it gets to 2 and 3. Some of the organs won't actually do it on number 2. Sometimes they will. But usually when you get to 3 to 8 or 10, it will bring in the full band. Okay? So keep that in mind. Now, if you're one of those that, I like to have the drummer and the band all the time, you can do that. And you mentioned a key button over here earlier called accompaniment lock.
Mm-hmm.
So if I set it up, if I put it on like this, and I bring in the drummer and I start altering the band, and I don't want it to change on me, I can simply push the accompaniment lock,
Ooh.
which is, I saw it earlier, there's an accompaniment lock button here, and some of the models have accompaniment lock, and then you can lock the band, and then it'll stay that way for the duration of the song. So watch what happens. I'll start off without the accompaniment lock on, and I'll just play it as it is. Here we go. Okay, now I'm going to put up my drummer, And I'm going to say to myself, I want it to be like that all the time. So I put on my accompaniment lock. Now, anytime I push another setup or preset, it'll remain. The sounds will change, but the band stays the way it is. Chord at the end. You have to make that face too. Yeah, like surprise. That's what. So just to recap before I go on. So what I did is I chose a style. In this case, I chose the Latin guitarist style, and it's simply called Latin guitar. Over here, I played groovy Latin, also known as a go-go on some of the Lowrys. Some of you have also the Latin guitar style here. And because I wanted the band to remain the way I wanted it to stay throughout the preset changes, I just simply put in the accompaniment lock, okay? And then I played. Now, did anyone catch the name of the second song? The first song was Besame Mucho. I threw in a little bit of another song in there. Did anybody know what that song was? We'll see if you can guess, because I'll play it again over here. But this time, I'm going to do 3 songs on here. Why?
Why?
I'm glad you asked. Because I can. I don't know. I'm going to do Besame Mucho. I'm going to do the second song. And then I'm going to add the third one. More than likely, you're going to be able to guess the third one. Do you know how I know? Because I'm going to tell you the name of the style that I'm using. And a lot of times, the styles kind of give you a hint. So let me find, let's see, I got a keypad on here, right? Alpha keypad on this?
Yes.
Okay, so I know this style exists on a lot of the Lowry organs. But in the past, it was always in the same place on the A series. On the E series, they put it somewhere else, or maybe they didn't. But I don't know where it's at. But I can find it alphabetically. So I'm going to hit keypad, alphabet. Oh, I'm already there. And I'm going to type the first letter of the style, and it brings me right to the styles. Well, it's supposed to. Oh. Did you put, I put my presets in here. All right.
Aha.
So the first, I'm going to use alphabet keypad. Oh, I pushed a home button and it takes forever. So alpha keypad. Let me say it one more time. Alpha keypad. All right, alphabet. And then the first letter, the style that I want. And then I scroll within and let's hope. It is there. Good. The style I'm using is called Miami Conga. All right. Does anybody know the name of the
Gloria Estefan.
Gloria Estefan? Yes.
Oh, yes.
Yes, and the Miami Sound Machine. And she had a lot of hit songs, and they came up back when they came out. They called it New Latin, but it was really just to me, it was just a new way of playing some of these great spicy Latins, this hot Latin style that kind of got you moving. So what I'm going to do is use this style to play both Besame Mucho, the second song, which no one was able to guess, but I'll play a little bit more of it, see if you can figure it out. All right? And then I'll also play the Gloria Estefan song. So here we go. See if I can wrap it all in one.
There we go.
I
Nice.
have to push a lot of buttons to get to that applause real quick. Just turn you guys off. So, did anybody figure out what the third song was?
Miami Beach Rumba.
What was that?
Miami Beach Rumba.
That was it. Miami Beach Rumba. So I played the first one was the song Conga by Miami Sound Machine. The other one was Besame Mucho. And Miami Beach Rumba sounds like this. Whoops, that's where did that come
Somebody's
from?
turn off the cell phones here, I think.
I was trying to find the right sound. Let's see. Something like that. All right, now there's some features that I did use in that. You mentioned transpose earlier.
Mhm.
One little trick I like to do, and I learned this from Marco Mendez. Whenever he transposes up, he always goes up a half a step, but he always plays. He doesn't do it all the time on the chord that you're playing. So now this may have you thinking for a little bit for some of you, but write this down and save it for a question for your PA. So if the song is in the key of C, you're playing C, okay? And I want to transpose out. At the very end, what I'll do is I'll play the chord that's the fifth note of that song, of that chord, that key. So in other words, C chord would be C, E, G. So C, before I transpose, I play a G chord, and then I transpose up a half a step. Same thing with a minor chord. So in that song, if I was playing a G minor, I might play a D7 first and then transpose up a half a step. Now, if you don't remember that, doesn't matter. Wherever chord you're playing, transpose a half a step up. Always up, because it elevates the song. And sometimes that simple little thing is the difference that makes your song feel like you're elevating the song and the arrangement.
Yeah, if you go the opposite way, you just end up getting depressed because you're just bringing everything down, bringing down the room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, all right. Before I bring on Mr. Sean Maloney, any questions? I know I didn't ask questions. Any questions about anything that we talked about so far?
Any answers?
I have a question.
Okay, hold on. We're going to get to you in just a second. Yes.
Oh, I almost forgot it. Oh,
What's your
I
question?
forgot it.
Forgot it?
No, I know what it is. Okay, transposing. What is the difference between you transpose up, but also when you hit alter, that also goes up?
Oh, well, yeah, okay.
It's not relative, I know,
Well,
but
they're actually two different
I
things.
know.
Okay. So transposing up basically is taking this, whatever you're playing, the key that you're playing in, okay? And when you're playing it, let me put on that style again. Style list. Okay. So when you're playing, now I'm going to transpose it up a half step. Just listen to the band.
Oh.
Okay. It just sounds like it's going up in key. Alter style doesn't always go up in the feel of the song. It just changes the feel of the song. And it's different for every style. Sometimes it's a very mild change, and sometimes it's drastic. So in this style here, for example, the Miami Conga style, this is how it's playing right now. And when I put on alter style, watch what happens. Well, kind of does a little more groove, right? Now, it changes the way the style is playing and the band, but it still works with your same songs. Sometimes it's a subtle change. Like if you're using soft and easies and some of those styles, you're not going to feel something really drastically change. Transpose, on the other hand, just change, it uplifts the key. And so sometimes it feels like the song is elevating in the arrangement and the feel of the song. And sometimes, and to really stump you, sometimes I'll actually do both. So if I'm playing a song, all right, that's like this, maybe what I'll do is this. I'll hold my fill in. I do this commonly. Transpose up a half a step. And then go into alter style. And then when you start playing the song, it just really feels like, oh, wow, there's a lot more happening. And you know what? All I did was use 2 features. So you too can do that is the point. All right. He was saying it earlier. All of these features are designed so when you use them, you can sound as good as what we're doing. That's all it is. And we're just showing you the tricks. No extra presets in the organ are mine, by the way. These are just what you're getting with the instrument. Okay?
Okay.
All right. I think Sean has something
we got
pretty
one more.
spectacular here for you.
Yeah, and like he said, that's what's nice is when you start out. That's why we like starting out with these, is just because it's simple. You have less choices, which is a good thing. It's not always, oh, I don't have enough. It's just I've got just enough, just what I need. But then as you want more freedom, you can find some different ones. So this is going to be a fun one. I wanted to do this because this Freedom 3 is actually super cool. There's a lot of neat rhythms in here that aren't in all of the beginner-sized instruments. For example, he said he played that groovy Latin, but I have another new one in here too called American Bandstand. There it is. It's in the ballad button, but it's called American Bandstand. And it's just a cool style of music. It sounds like this. But I'm going to use it to play kind of a faster rock and roll song. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to pick out that bandstand style, speed it up. I'm going to go to, well, heck, I'll do 160 again like I did the other song. I guess that's my magic number. But I'm going to play a song in a minor key called Runaway by Del Shannon. So that's the benefit of an instrument like this. Easy peasy setup. Sit down, I touched ballad, went to American Bandstand, sped them up a little, and I'm good to go. So let's play. So it should sound like this. And there's my song. Simple, simple, simple. Thank you.
That's got a lot of sound.
So then the next step, as I said, if we've got some of you on here who may like that, that may be level 1, they may be level 1, that's what they want, simple. And then we have some level 2s here, and that they say, oh, I like that, but I want to pick a different sound. I wasn't as into that sound. Maybe I want some more choices. So you have something called setups. So let's go to that same exact rhythm. Let's see if I can find it. Do you remember where bandstand is in this one? I think it's in pop. There it is, pop.
Yeah,
So
it's in
my
pop.
pop button.
I knew that.
Yep. Yeah, you were about to pop. You were going to tell me in a second. But so what's fun about this is now I've got that same rhythm. I'm going to put the same tempo, speed them up again. But now what's great is if I don't like what sound they give me, you know, I'm not a huge fan of the vocal sounds, and if I want to play that song, you know, I don't really know if that goes for me. So I can be creative and say, you know what, I'm going to play a different sound. Let's do something different. So I've got these numbers in the center. A lot of you have something like this. They're called setups or presets. So if I want something else, like, let's say, an organ, if I go to number 3, typically, I get that type of sound. So now I can play it a little bit more how I want to. So let's try it again. Here's my organ sound. And then I might say, you know, it's still not quite exactly how I want. And like I said before, everybody's ears are differently, and you might use the transposer. So right right on the cover here, I can say, I want to play this song in A or A flat. Let's do A flat. Why not? Because maybe this was too high. And now it's, wrong button. And now it's just right. So let's do it one more time and hear how it sounds with the organ. I'll just play that chorus part. Put on a harmony. So I just get a little more freedom. I can change the backgrounds a little bit. I can change the right hand a lot more easily. Just pick a number, 1 through 8, or if you have 5, 1 through 5, or 10, 1 through 10. But what my favorite to do, especially with something like that song where I want it to be just right, because I really love that song. So I might take an instrument like this and say, put on the same style, same tempo. And maybe I didn't like those sounds that it came up with in the numbers. Well, they added a new feature to a lot of the touchscreen instruments, especially if it's an EY, like Inspire, Rialto, or EX, like Marquis, Grand Marquis Aria. You have a new button called Vintage next to all these numbers. So I have my regular sounds, the same ones I just played, or I can touch Vintage, and it just gives me a whole new set of sounds to go with that rhythm. So maybe instead of shooby doobies, maybe I want something more like a saxophone. Let's do that. I'm going to play it the same way, but with a saxophone. And then I'm going to do exactly what Robert did, and I'm going to touch some other buttons just to change up, refresh, and feel good. So I'll put on something like drum variation or alter style. So let's hear what this sound, or what this song can really sound like if we get cooking. Here we go. Let's add some reverb. Now let's pick a different sound and put on drum variation. There we go. Let's change it up. Ooh, ended with the minor chord there. So that's how much fun you can have. I was just pushing buttons on the fly just to give myself ideas, and it's a lot of fun to kind of noodle around once you
Is
have
that
more
the-
freedom.
Is that the American Bandstand on all models?
It depends. Do you have a certain model you're asking about?
Grand Marquis.
It sure is.
Right, thank you.
Bet, yeah. On the A series, it sure is, yeah. On the A series, EX series. I think it's just not on some of the EZ line and things like that. So, yeah, any other questions? Just wanted to make sure everybody knew no matter what instrument you have, they all have their benefits. Just to recap, easy peasy setup. If you just want to play music and you never played before, or you want something easy to set up that you could just sit down and just, gosh darn it, I want to play.
What
That's
is
for
the
you.
middle or
Sean,
instrument there?
The middle what?
Instrument that you have, the organ there in the middle.
This is called an Inspire,
Okay.
and that's why they call it that. It inspires you to play even more, yeah. So this
Sean.
one, Freedom 3, and then Fanfare and Inspire. So
Okay.
Sean, where is America Bandstand on the Grand Marquis?
I
It's not-
believe it's in the pop button, yeah. Should be pop. And the first one that comes up on page 2. So you have 2 pages of styles. So American Bandstand, it's all the way in the top right.
Just Bandstand, okay.
And if you ever have a problem finding a style, some of the models have a style list feature.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's not
Oh,
under, look there first.
Yep, it's called Bandstand.
Bandstand.
Okay, thanks.
Mhm.
Yeah, don't look for American A. Just go to the B's Bandstand.
Yes.
Wow. I'm going
Okay.
to do a closing number here in a minute.
All right.
But first, I want you to give a little commercial about our Patreon page.
Oh, Patreon.
Because
Well,
I was noticing everybody was taking notes here.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes when we throw so much information at you, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh my gosh, she keeps giving all this. I'm writing. I don't know if I got it all.
Mhm.
Wouldn't it be nice if you can just go back and watch it?
Sure.
Yes.
Sure.
So where do you watch it at? Not everything is available on YouTube, but everything is available where?
Patreon.com. This is great because I've actually used this site for other things now because there's just so much you can do. It's basically made kind of as a support system. If you like us, show us, and we'll give you more. It's like a Walgreens card, you get sales and benefits and all that kind of stuff. But basically what it is YouTube, we put all our information on that you can get, and then Patreon, we put bonus content. So extra stuff.
Like
so
this is a bonus one.
Ooh,
Yeah,
you get
Dennis
to watch
Aw.
Dennis, yeah.
I've been putting bits and pieces of all of the events that he
Mhm.
did from Florida, Mesa. The next one's going to be up is either Mesa or Tucson, so I have
Yeah.
recorded some of those.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yes. So it's a
but
great
wait
place to
second,
go.
Wait
Yeah.
a second. Wait a second. Look on the screen, folks. You see all the videos? That's because I'm logged in. See, I'm a Patreon member to myself.
Mhm.
I contribute every month, believe it or not. So if you're not a Patreon member, whoa, that's a mouthful. You go to patreon.com/Fletcher Music Centers. I'm going to show you. And what'll happen is it'll come up like this, and you may see some of these screens that look unlocked. And then occasionally we have stuff that is not unlocked, so everyone can see it. But if you're a Patreon member, you can get them all unlocked. And what you do is you log in. Okay, everybody close your eyes. Don't look at my password. Don't peeking.
I Heart Sean 2, I think is what it is. Capital S.
So once you log in, then you have access to all of the content. So that's great. So see that? All these things come up. So that's how you get to it. Now, while I have this up here, I want to remind everyone tomorrow we have yet a dynamic duo here. Some of you don't know Miranda. She performed for the first time, I want to say about a month ago. Andrew, some people have met Andrew online. Actually, they were in a band for many years, and both musically geniuses with a lot of other instruments. They play guitars, and I think he plays banjo and bass, and he's a fabulous guitar player. But they are going to be doing a similar event tomorrow for day 3 of our virtual anniversary spectacular. It is at 12 p.m. Arizona, which is the same as California time right now, 3 o'clock Eastern. And if you're in the UK, it just means it's going to be even later.
8 p.m.
Yeah, 8 p.m. Time for another glass of wine while you're enjoying the fun. That's happening tomorrow. And then just a reminder, on Thursday, we have Marco Mendez that's going to do a special. He's going to be our finale of the virtual anniversary spectacular. So that's happening the next 2 days. And the final thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do a closing number, but I'm going to tell you what I'm doing first, and then I'll just finish off the song here. The song I'm going to feature is Phantom of the Opera.
Oh, yes.
A lot of people like the song Phantom of the Opera. And on the models like the Freedom 3 and the Fanfare, there's a style here that's I'm really pleased that they put it on here. It's simply called disco. All right. Over here we also have the disco. I just don't remember where it's at. Do you remember where it's at, Sean?
Well, disco here, disco there. Yeah, mix.
Mix. That's where I went to mix. Group 2, is it?
Full band.
There it is. All right, so I'll just get those set up, and then I have mine set up over here for something else that I like to. So if you use the disco, the setup that it gives you automatically is perfect for that. Over here, if you do the disco, I like the setup that it gives me, but I also use some of the setups, and then I have one other little thing I'm going to share with you. So here's the beginning of this one. This one's got a little kind of a funky bass in the beginning. It's kind of neat.
Oh, yeah.
You can do some John Travolta move. Oh, I forgot what key it was in. Here we go. Here we go. Fill it where the guy counts 1, 2, just in case you lose your timing partway through. So you also have the disco here. It's a slightly different version of it, but what I'm going to do is as I'm playing, I'm going to do a couple presets in the setups, just what the instrument gives me. Here we go. Make sure I hit the right chord this time. Cool. And it automatically set up these really cool synthesizer sounds. Now, the style I also like to use is a style that I originally learned from Joe Fontesha. Now, most of you know Joe Fontesha. He's been online. He actually came and visited us. You all know him in Florida. And Joe, years ago, when he wasn't with Fletcher Music, he had moved. I think he was living in Mexico at the time. And we had him back occasionally for the day. And when this style first came out, I thought, how's that going to work? Because I heard him introducing it in the style, and I thought, that's never going to work. And then I heard it, and I thought, I'm going to have to steal that idea and then claim it to be my idea. But now that we're recorded and hundreds of people, I can't take full credit anymore because then he'll come back. And so I actually got this idea originally, but what I did is I took a blend of the arrangement that I used along with the style choice that he used. And some of you know this because I just taught it in a Song of the Month recently. The style I like to use is Slumdoggy, which is commonly known as the style that's perfect for, what is that movie called? Slumdog Millionaire, right? And if you just hit a C chord, oh, it's back to your setup there. Let me put my setup here. Okay, rhythms here. Here we go. So if you just use the initial setup that it gives you in the transpose, it sounds like this. Which is great for that song from that movie, which is a great drama, by the way. But anyway, what I decided to do is I took that style and I took the sound that it might have given me, one of the sounds, and then I transpose it down. A lot of people ask, how do you get those little low and deep tones? That's because I transpose it down to the key of E flat. And you get those E flat. You can go either way, but I go down to E flat. So if it was not, it would be this. But I want it like this. So then you could do, whoops. I don't know how that got in there. Rooster or something. Ooh, thunder. Oh. Oh, thank you. That's a very creepy applause. It's a transposed applause.
Yeah.
It's a bunch of dead people applauding. Bring them back up. There we go.
Yeah, they were
Thank you.
clapping.
Robert,
I forgot that the applause transposed along with it. Yes.
Robert, I have a question. Well, maybe it's not a question. I did not know that Phantom of the Opera could be played on that little one.
Oh, yeah.
We kept it,
Amazing.
we kept it a secret from you so you would upgrade.
Wow. Oh.
I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
That is cool.
No. But you know what? The one thing that I caught Sean doing a lot today, which was really great, is he kept reminding us that all of the models are really great. They all do wonderful things and they all make you sound better. But in person, it's a little bit more noticeable than online. But as I listened to these models, they, boy, that thing sounds great. And then he was over there, and well, that's got some other cool things, and then so forth. So just keep that in mind. The fingers never change. The sound does, depending on the model you have. So, but hopefully you learned a lot today, took a lot of notes. You have personal assistants to help you at any time. And so I want to thank you for attending today and hope you enjoyed. Let's give Sean Maloney a round of applause for driving all the way down. I got a round of applause on the right side. Thank you so much, and we'll see you tomorrow, everyone.
Thank you, Sean. Thank you, Robert.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Pleasure listening to all your lessons.
Bye.
Bye.